Alright, so here today we got some very cool information, some really cool stuff to go over. We have an exclusive interview with actually the devs here that did pop up, and I wanted to show it to you and read through a lot of the text that kind of happened through this, like a dialogue, right? About exactly what's going on. So I wanted to share it with you. New to the channel, like and subscribe, it helps out a ton. Let's hop into it, let's see what they're cooking up. And let me tell you now, there is some pretty kind of solid information in this entire interview. Let's hop into it. This is it over here. We have, we'll try to translate this properly. It's going to obviously be a little messed up. Only I level up Arise special interview, Spring Anime X Game 24. Netmarble's iOS, Android, PC action RPG, Only I level up Arise, is scheduled to officially launch in the spring of 2024 and is currently accepting pre-registrations. In preparation for the official launch of the service, we bring to you an interview with the developer in this highly anticipated game. The same person, this one over here, Executive PD of Netmarble Neo, who is leading the Only I Level Up Arise project, agreed to the interview. In addition to talking about the global expansion in general, we also talked about our services in Japan. That's there, so let's continue onwards over here with the article. The original work is highly successful IP, Only I Level Up, but do you have any goals for the game service? This time, we at Netmarble Neo have developed Only I Level Up Arise in the action RPG genre, using a very famous IP that has many fans around the world. Our goal is to be in the global top rankings, but rather than numerical expectations or results, there's a greater value in getting a large number of users to like our work, and that is our goal. The main character of the original work, basically I'm guessing Jinwoo, right, keeps leveling up and grows into an S-class hunter, one of only a limited number of people in the world. What kind of balance is achieved in game? In the original webtoon, we had a lot of trouble figuring out how to portray the main character who appears in the state of muscles in the game. Therefore, we adjusted the balance to dividing the game into two modes. One in which you control only the character, being Jinwoo, right, it's half the game, and the other in which you control only the hunter, which is again the other half of the game, controlling the hunters you can actually summon for, which is very cool. I like the mechanics. Kind of, I don't know if games do this more so. I've never played a game like that, but that's what this does. When you control Jinwoo, you summon a hunter and a shadow, and when you control a hunter, you enjoy a tag action battle with just the hunters without Jinwoo, basically, correct? Or again, his name is Jinu. I'll try to pronounce it properly now. We believe that by determining the balance between the two play methods, we can provide players with two types of fun. We have carefully adjusted the balance between Jinu and other characters to avoid any major balancing problems. Currently, characters other than the main character can level up and change equipment, but are there any plans to implement other development elements? As mentioned above, leveling up and equipment are the basic growth factors for, again, Jinwoo and hunters. I gotta learn, it's Jinu. Gotta get that going, but it's just the way I say it. Furthermore, in addition to levels and equipment, there are skills and skill runes that can change skills, which can add various effects to your skills or the skills you own, or change them into skills with new motions. You can. In addition to the basic growth elements, we have prepared a variety of elements and content to allow many users to experience the fun of farming and growth. We will announce specific details through official forums and other means as soon as we can. So yeah, we're going to get more basic growth elements in a way, and variety of elements to keep that going. So we expected it. Obviously, it's not just like over, right? It's going to happen. So very cool stuff there. Next confirmation. Is it possible to change jobs to jobs other than the feature one of the original work? Users will play as, again, Jinu, and will grow into a powerful being, from an E-class hunter to a Shadow Lord, basically based on the worldview of the original work. There is no difference in the process or the growth process of Jinu from the original work, and there is no separate occupation set, but his attacks and skills and patterns change depending on the weapon he uses, dagger, longsword, gun, bow, magic book, etc., and have a diverse playing experience. In addition to Jinu, by changing the controls to the hunter, you can play as each hunter's occupation: mage, fighter, healer, tanker, ranger, assassin, etc. So basically they said, shut up, we're never making another job change, right? He's going to be stuck to that because that's the whole point of it. He's the Shadow Lord in a way, as they call it here. That's the whole point to it. We're not going to change that, so suck it up and deal with it. That's what they're trying to say in a way, right? So cool stuff there. Why did you choose the genre as action RPG? When developing a game, we thought it was most important to take advantage of the characteristic of the IP. Actually, it's not that we didn't consider other genres. We created two prototypes during the development process, but ultimately decided that an action RPG, right, was the best fit for this IP. However, I didn't have the trouble deciding that it would be an action RPG. In the end, we decided that it is more important to maintain the PLC product lifecycle over the long term, as there was no example of a mobile game in this genre being highly successful. We prepared content that could be provided over a long period of time as an action RPG and create a system that can maintain long-term service and harmony with each other, such as Jinwu-centered play and Hunter-centered play. So they're trying to say that there's no game that's done this sort of way, and that's how they'll win the market, is what they're trying to say here. Which, there's games that follow a very similar aspect. The only issue I see with this game is endgame content, right? Like, you're gonna get into like the bosses area, and there's like, you know, I personally thought that, I get it, it's called solo leveling, and this was like an issue that I thought people were super moronic to talk about, but people were saying like, oh, it's solo leveling, I don't want any co-op based mode. But this game would be so killer in co-op, right? You have one character, you load in with 3 other players who have one character, and you take on a dungeon. Like, think about that, right? I get it, time attack and other modes are competitive in a way, but dude, no PvP needed. I don't want PvP. I want co-op, right? Where I can load into a dungeon with, like, you know, the friends, the homies, the guild or whatever, and be able to conquer that dungeon together. Like, imagine 8-player raids. Like, you know, it was like the sickest thing ever. But players said, it's solo leveling, bro. I don't want it to be, you know, co-op based or anything of the sort, because again, it's solo leveling. But I'm curious what you think about that if you are caring about a co-op mode. This game has gained popularity due to the exhilarating feeling of invincibility of the main character, but what kind of scenes in the game offer the best enhancing experience? In the game, you can play while enjoying the story of Jinwu, growing up as a Shadow Lord in the basic story mode, so we hope that users are able to experience the excitement of that level as expected, I think. In addition, in this game, players can directly experience the action scenes they read in the original webtoon through actual play. In addition, they can experience various action elements and skills, QTEs, breaks, and other exciting elements. I think the excitement will grow. The game is basically a single action RPG, but are there any paid elements? Also, what form will it take? We are planning to introduce a flat rate system and pass type products, which will account for a large proportion of our sales. Although there are probability items, there are many items that can be obtained by playing the game. So yeah, they're asking or kind of mentioning this here and there about a flat rate system. I've seen this a few times mentioned from this game actually, right? And I think what they mean by this is basically if you spend like $30, they'll give you like a free character in a way, right? It's just like a way for them to keep the game going. And if they want to make like things like, instead of making things super unaffordable, I think that some of the bundles here are very, very good, kind of well priced in my opinion, right? I've seen people say otherwise, but it's how a gacha game is priced. This is a gacha game. The whole point of it is that. So for what it is as a gacha game, it's definitely priced very well. For example, other games like Nikkei, right? Another very popular game, and you can see how much it's to whale on a banner. It's insanity. It's like 3 or 4 multis is $100. In this game, theoretically, if I wanted to buy it, I have 2 monthly bundles that both are valued very high. I have 2 bishop passes, basically, which are very cheap in my opinion, and a lot of starting bundles. So they're pretty good priced. So if I were to spend money in this game, it's 100% worth it. But they're trying to do some flat rate system and pass type product. Wondering what that exactly means, but yeah. It's only Me Level Up is a worldwide hit, but are there any plans for regional localization? The original work includes various localization elements such as hunters from areas appearing in gates opening at key locations. We are currently creating content with these aspects in mind. We are currently planning to include not only the original elements but also the corresponding elements of the game's original hunters, and we plan to collect opinions from users in which region and add original hunters in the future. Wow, that's kind of cool. So, because again, some hunters are in different regions in the entire story. If you read it, they're in different areas of the world, correct? And they plan to like ask the community like, where do you want to see a hunter from? Which there was like a leak or some information going around that there was a plan for already some hunters in a different region. It's kind of cool. I like that. Only Thailand and Canada conduct OBT first. Why is that? First, we selected the regions taking into consideration the distribution map of IP fans. We have researched whether these regions were suitable for the action RPG test and decided to conduct in these 2 countries. It seems there are plans to implement an original story. That's it. Quick answer. It seems that there are plans to implement an original story, but the original webtoon itself was completed in 2018. What form will it be taken to be implemented? Our top priority has always been to faithfully recreate the original story. However, the worldview of that has many interesting elements, basically solo leveling. I wrote a story that reinterpreted stories that were not covered in the original webtoon, such as a story about computers and a story about a monarch. Using only the game, of course, it is produced under the supervision of the original author. Look at that. Very cool stuff. This is something that Netmarble does with the actual writer for 7DS, right? They do a lot of stuff there, and they always like consult with him and say like, hey, do you like this part of it? Hey, can you write this part for it? Hey, can you design this character? Hey, can you design this boss? Like, hey, can you give us some stuff like this? Can you design these skins? They do this constantly, and it's a really cool thing. So yeah, they are getting supervision from the original author on this, and that is beautiful. That's actually so peak. I don't intend to drag this part out for a long time, but there are some things that will be implemented in the form of sub-stories within the story. which again, we are getting a lot of OC content because whatever it is, solo leveling Arise or solo leveling itself isn't a massive thing, right? It's not like I have 400, 500, 600 chapters to go through. I think it's only like 150 or something like that. So there's not much to really get through. And most of the game has covered half of the story already. So it's like, what are we going to do, right? So for what they're doing, I'm not going to hate it. OC needs to be in this. It needs to be here. And if it's supervised by, obviously, the author, it's perfectly fine, correct? Will characters be acquired through so-called gacha? This time we have prepared many ways to acquire characters. Basically, you can acquire characters by opening scenarios through gameplay. There are some characters that can be acquired through regular events, and others that can be acquired through partial purchases, and there are no clear divisions. It is designed that you can acquire enough characters by continuing to play the game for a long time, which is true. In collaboration with the original work side, we have prepared a long service plan that includes original development, special interview here. So, are there any improvements made since the game was released at G-Star, a show held in 2022? At the time, we released the basics of combat, action, and play as a result. The quality of the strategic aspects and the combat action at the time were still under development, and there was a lot of room for improvement. Our priority was to expand strategic combat play, and we also made significant improvements to the content and usability in addition to smartphones. We also prepared various platforms such as PC and consoles at the same time. Nice. And developed the game in detail to support crossplay. In addition, we were working to improve the quality in many ways so that that even users who do not know about the original story can enjoy it. Why did you expand the platform to support crossplay, not just smartphones? It would be it would have been best if we could have released the home game console at the time of the official release, but we decided to release the PC version first. If the PC version satisfies Steam users, I think console support will become smoother. Currently, the console is expected to be released around next year at the earliest. So yes, technically the game comes out next month, but console, if you're waiting for console and really want to play this on console specifically, which you don't need that, right? You can just play on PC with a controller. But if you really want to be a console player on it, you'll have to wait till around next year, it's a while. It's a while. So kind of sad on that front, but yeah. Moving forward, I believe that the time attack content, Battlefield Time, can also be adapted to esports. Was that something that you were aware of? Ooh, we believe that time attack content is not only content that can be enjoyed by top players. Basically, we developed it so that players can experience the fun of updating their own records. Our main goal was to provide a way for players to play without the stress of competing with other players, even after the record was updated. How many hunters are planning to be implemented in the upcoming official release? At the time of the official release, there will be 20 hunters. Which, I did the math for you already. There are 22 hunters in the game. One of those are Choi. So remove Choi. It's 21 now. It's still 100 more than what they say here. So I wonder who's not going to be there at launch. I don't know. But yeah, Choi is one of them. So don't know what happened there. The original work has already been completed, but once the game consumes the original story, how do you plan to proceed with the service after that? We plan to steadily update the game, but it will take a certain amount of time for the game service to reach the end of the original work. In the future, we will implement various bosses and hunters, in addition to considering side stories as update elements in the future. We will discuss and develop the game and service after the original work has been completely exhausted through discussions with the original creator, DNC Media, and author. Original story and idea for that is a plan. So basically, they're going to consult everybody and get some more in here, in a way, right? I think there's also a sequel happening or something like that, which they can actually get that also in here if they wanted to. Something like for Koa with 7DS. Pre-registration has started, but do I need to prepare by watching the webtoon or anime before playing? Even users who don't know the original work can fully enjoy the story of solo leveling by playing the story mode. For users who have watched the webtoon or anime, in addition to fun, finding out how famous scenes from the original work have been recreated in the game, we also recommend sub-stories of characters that do not appear in the original work, such as this character. You can see how she became a hunter, allowing you to enjoy this more deeply. And that's the end of the article. So, very cool stuff here. Honestly, this is genuinely a pretty solid thing here. There's more, actually. Is this anything important? No, I don't think so. Oh, this confirms stuff here. So main character, black suit skin for him, Jinwoo. Legendary armor set, wow. 100,000 gold. Magic crystals ×2 for each attribute, 10 total. Okay, that's what you get exactly as the pre-registration rewards. But very cool information here. So first thing, console is coming out next year, correct? They're planning on writing the story with the original author. They're planning on continuously doing OC stories. They're planning on also continuing OC characters. They're planning on asking the community what regions they want characters to be kind of designed from, and then make their own characters designed from those regions. They want to, so they kind of say May is the launch this spring, and spring basically. I think it is just going to be May 8th. I genuinely think that's the launch date, May 8th, not May 24th. I think it's May 8th actually. But yeah, very cool confirmations here, and I think for what this is, it's pretty solid. So Let me know what you think about all this stuff here. Just want to share this with you so you are aware. Nice little interview. Yeah, let me know what you think. With that being said, I'll leave. Peace out. Take care.